It's the NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And it's coming up next on Madden Football.
We have a beautiful late summer afternoon for football here at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Ready to get us started, it's Cade York, and off we go from Cleveland. This will be fielded inside the 5. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Well, we get our first look at this New York Jets offense, really retooled the last couple of seasons. And at the helm under center, second overall pick from 2021 out of BYU, Zach Wilson.
It was an educational rookie season for Zach Wilson, who was drafted to be the eventual face of the Jets as the team worked through a lengthy rebuild. 2,300 yards and 9 touchdowns as a rookie. He did miss some time midseason with an injury, but I really like the work that the Jets have done to put people around him and give him his best opportunity to be not only the face of this franchise, but get him back into perennial playoff contention.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 13 and a very solid opening play for this offense.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
On 1st down, Wilson. He'll drop that down to Carter underneath. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
Now Wilson on 1st down. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game. Watching him try to take away that area of the field.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw is Wilson. He gets it underneath to Hall. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 24-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Over the middle, he gets it to Barrios. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson, he's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Even for a guy who many believe has become the standard in the league, Myles Garrett's 2021 was special. 16 sacks set a team record and were third in the NFL, and he made first-team All-Pro to the surprise of no one.
Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. Now Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. No doubt a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those points on the board. Don't get too greedy. He forced it there. You saw the end result.
So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski. Bringing this crew out, it's someone known for his big arm since he entered the league back in 2016, Jacoby Brissett.
Spent the early years of his career bouncing between starter and backup as needed, and played well, but never had a team fully commit to him as their guy. He does retain the toolbox that made him projectable as a starter. Big, strong player with a powerful arm, deceptively mobile and tough to tackle. The best part about his game, leadership and being a great teammate.
Brissett to throw on first. And he's going to dump this off to his running back, Hunt. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On second down, there's the option going left. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
On third down, Brissett. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got a turnover? We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Brissett sets to throw it. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A very solid gain of 27.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 34. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Oh, he bowls over him. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the red zone now, Brissett.
That's complete to Peoples-Jones.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field all they're thinking is finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you've got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll run with Chubb, and he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Here's Brissett. Touchdown, Browns. Donovan Peoples-Jones. A 7-yard touchdown Brown. And the Browns take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. That's one of those long drives where not only do you score, but you really tire out the defense, too.
That's a great point because now they've been on the field for a long time. Them going to the bench, trying to make adjustments, trying to figure things out, but they'll do so fatigued.
Now Cade York for the extra point. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. That time a 9-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that worked. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. He finds Corey Davis. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
On second down, a run with Carter. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's third down.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter, as they've got it with a third down coming up. Here's Wilson to throw. Throw right side complete to Carter. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I know I'm an old defender, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. That was smart play calling right there on 3rd and 4. They didn't need to do too much. Just let their guy get out there and sit down in the zone. And they hit him for the completion for the first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Wilson. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson completes it to Davis. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Wilson on the hook up to Davis. First down, Jets.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 49-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 33. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Hall ought to give up the middle. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. Myles Garrett showing that athleticism as he gets in to make the play.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Carter straight ahead.
The second down play not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Eluding the... And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On 4th down, punt coming from Braden Mann.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line.
Jacoby Brissett in the offense, ready to begin their next drive.
5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
A 1st down throw for Brissett.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Brissett. They'll go screen here to Hunt. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Let's go, man.
They'll throw again. Brissett. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game.
A good scheme and an early win for this pass rush. They got back there before he could work through his entire progression and ended that play early.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt.
The Jets have Braxton Berrios back deep.
That's pulled in at the 32. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return.
And the Jets will take over.
New York's offense back out there and set to go. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Now Hall to start the drive. Taken down at the 42.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Wilson. Steps away to his left. And that is incomplete here.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Wilson. And this one is incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes that's the danger of putting that jumbo set out there. You just get a lot of bodies massed in one location. You could wind up with 18, 20, maybe even all 22 in the box, and there's nowhere to run the football.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Handoff up the middle. Hunt. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you in just a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Orlando, and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Partner, there's a downside to everything, and the danger of man coverage is if you're locking down your target, you often turn your back to the quarterback and you don't see him. Sometimes you open up a big lane for him to hit you for big yardage, and that was an astute play by him to scramble out, see that lane, and burn them for a first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing, Brissett. He's going to drop this one down for Chubb. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. To throw again on second down. Brissett over the middle, complete. It's Hunt. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 40. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Brissett on first down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. To throw is Brissett. This is the tight end, Njoku. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Again, it's Brissett. Dances by him. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 21. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Cade York on now for the field goal. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. A pretty good looking run there on first down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand-new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports halftime report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from that first half for the Jets. And not much went right in those first two quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. Meanwhile, for the Browns, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. This taken in at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. And the Browns offense getting set to go to work here to start the third. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Brissett. Over the middle. That's caught by Schwartz. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Brissett. Over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Hunt will try going up the middle. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
First down, Brissett. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down, and he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. They run it again with Chubb. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The former 3rd overall pick, Solomon Thomas, with a high motor that time, and the tackle for loss.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Brissett now. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. On 3rd down, Brissett. Forced out to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they're able to build on things here with a field goal, but the question is how much longer can they really rely on their defense to pitch a shutout?
That's a great question because the guys on the other sideline are saying, give us the ball. We want another shot at this. So yes, tight game, you'll take the 3. But this game, it's far from over.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. Braxton Berrios selected to bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10 at their own 24. He'll give it to Hall to start the drive. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Hall again on 2nd down. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Well, speed is definitely a calling card if you play cornerback in this league, and he does a terrific job there of hustling in quickly to make the play.
Yeah, this defense as a whole has really been flying to the football all game long. They have not allowed too much of anything, and here's another example. A great play there to get in and disrupt it before it could get going.
And the next-gen stats tell the story as he was traveling at better than 19 miles an hour. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to kick it away. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Rookie Jermaine Johnson going all the way from last chance U to now dropping NFL quarterbacks.
Jermaine Johnson had a roller coaster of a first day of the 2022 NFL Draft where he expected to possibly go in the top 10. But the New York Jets were happy to trade up and take him 26th overall. They think he's got top 10 talent and can be the centerpiece of their pass rush plan.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the 1st down sack. Brissett, it's caught. Cooper. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. To throw, Brissett. Dancing to his left. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback. I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Now Carter to start the drive. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we're back now here in Cleveland. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the 4th quarter. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And out will come the offense as they take over. Cleveland offense making their way out. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Brissett sets to throw it. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Brissett from the gun on 3rd. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Solomon Thomas in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do,
They go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
From the 39, Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 22 yards there, a first down.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
So again from the 39, this time from the other side of the field. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. Throw right side complete to Carter. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They go play action now. Wilson. Open man is Uzama. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Throwing again here, Wilson. He gets it underneath to Hall. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. Throwing is Wilson. They'll set up the screen to Carter. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed. But that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
Now Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Touchdown, Jets. C.J. Uzama, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Jets are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. So they get the score, partner. Game's not over, but they still need some help here.
Agreed, they definitely need some help, but they took care of the first part by scoring themselves.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a Jet touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Taking it about the 1. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Browns set to take over.
That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
They begin this drive with Chubb, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Out of the gun, Brissett. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game. 1st and 10 here.
Now Brissett.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. The Jets will bring in a nickel set as they try to stop this 3rd down. Here's Brissett. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Chubb running right. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Jets going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Let's go, baby. Let's have some fun.
You'd have to think likely another running play coming here. 2nd and 11. And again, it's Chubb. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
That's what it is. That's what it is, baby. Come on with it, man. Play a little aggressive, baby.
2 running plays go backwards. So what's the call on 3rd and 13 now? Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line.
So here's Wilson and the Jets. Down 13-7. 57 seconds to go. They'll need to take this football a full 90 yards here as they've got it 1st and 10. Now Wilson. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. Here they come, 2nd and 10 now from the 10. Wilson to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. They try to take a shot there on 2nd down, and that leaves them because of the incompletion. A very tricky 3rd and 10.
And with the time situation, you would expect them to try and get it all in this one play, but there's still enough time that if you can take something shorter, gain some yardage, make it a more manageable 4th down if you need to.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line. So with no timeouts and where the football is on the field, now they're in a really tough spot.
Because a field goal finishes them. Right? If they give up 3, it's over, let alone trying to get the ball back. You're exactly right. Very difficult situation. All they can do is go all out when the ball snapped and try and pop it free and get it back for themselves.
The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.